I will never, never go to the nether again. Hey, everybody, Mntdewmania here, and welcome back to Fridays. Friday is rant day, and if that little intro wasn't a clue, I don't know what was. We're in season 5 of Redneck Rants. If you're here to watch a Minecraft video of me playing Minecraft, you need to check out one of the other days of the week because this is rant day. Yes, indeed. And we are on the letter N, and I think you know what N is for. N is for never. N-E-V-E-R. Never. The Handy Dandy Dictionary says that nether means not ever, at no time, not at all, absolutely not. Case in point, me going to the nether and dying. I will probably never go back. And if you go to whatever search engine you use and you put in quotes on never, a link will probably pop up that says Brainy Quotes. I get a lot of my quotes from there. Very awesome site. Check it out. Put in any words you want. You'll find some very cool quotes about it. And of course, I did. I typed in never, and I found some very cool quotes about it. But that's not what I'm looking for. Those quotes included the word never. I want to talk about the word never. Okay? Which implies that when you use that in a sentence, you mean absolutely at no time in the rest of your history on this planet will you never, not at all, absolutely not, do, say, think, feel, or whatever the subject is of your neverness. Case in point, me never going to the nether again. But people toss that word around quickly. Usually it's said dramatically. I'll never love anyone again. I'll never speak to you again. I'll never forgive you. I'll never eat that again. I'll never touch that again. I'll never say those words again. I'll never go there again. You get the point. You've said it in your life probably multiple times a day, just as emphatically as I just said it, meaning it when you say it, most likely. Most people tend to mean what they say at certain points, especially when they're tossing around the word never. Chances are I will go to the nether again. I won't like going to the nether on this server, in any mod pack I play, or any world I play in Minecraft. I've never liked it. I never will like it. But I can't say I will never go there again, because I probably will. But it's very dramatic and awesome to say, because it sounds really emotional and committed. I will never. But you will. Sure you will. I'll never love anybody again. 2 weeks later after you say that, you're going to be dating somebody. Chances are. I'll never forgive you. That one's a little tougher. There are some things that some people do or say to us that we can never forgive. We would like to think that we are above such pettiness, but we are human and frail, and therefore we make mistakes. We're not perfect. And when we say never, we mean never. I have people on this planet that have done things to me, accused me of things, done things to my family members, and I will never forgive them. I will never speak to them. I will never accept the fact that they have to be on this planet and breathe the same air that I do. That is a failing in me. They could have totally repented and changed every single nasty, mean way they ever had in their lives. They could be totally different people. I do not care. The word never and their name will always and forever in my mind, heart, and soul go together. Like I said, that is my decision. That's my never. Um, I'll never eat so and so again. I'll never drink so and so again. Let me give you a perfect example of saying never and sticking to it. I was in the military and I went in right after high school, just a couple of months. So it was my first time away from home. I lived in a very small town, grew up in a whole different era than most of you have, and things were very strict here in the South in a very small town with parents that, grew up in the teens and 20s, and they grew up in another era. So I had their values. Um, I was adopted by my great aunt and uncle, so there's like a whole generation gap there. So I was brought up how they were brought up, not, technically how kids in my era, my generation, were brought up. I had a different set of values, I guess you could say. And so the only thing I ever wanted to do in my life was go into the military and be a combat medic like my father was in World War II. He landed on the beaches of Normandy, and I heard stories of him helping people and saving soldiers, and I wanted to be that. I wanted to do that for my father, for my country, and for me. And I joined the Army, and I went to basic training. When I finished basic training at Fort Jackson, I went to San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston. Shout out to you. And anybody that's ever been there, that's the most awesome town I've ever been into. San Antonio is absolutely beautiful, and I loved my time there, and it changed who I am and how I think and how I prioritize and what matters to me. And I grew up there, you might say, in the few months that I was privileged to be there. And of course, though, when you're young, 18, 19 years old, and you're on your own, and you're thousands of miles away from home, and mom and daddy ain't there to smack you in the back of the head when you start to get stupid, you think to yourself, I'm grown up. I'll never need to ask my parents for any kind of thing again. I make my own decisions. I never have to get anybody's permission. I can do anything I want. Anything I want included going to a bar and tossing back a few. Only thing I ever really liked was Mai Tais, mixed drinks. I'm not a beer drinker. I don't like it. Don't condemn anybody that does. Just not my thing. And boy, those drinks were good, and I was feeling happy. And of course, you were only allowed a certain number on base, and there was a bunch of guys from the company right across from us, and they were graduating. And they had a friend off base who was non-military that worked on the base, and they were going to throw a party, and I got invited. Me and Buddy had made friends, and hey, you want to come along to the party? Yeah, sure, I'll come along. And we commenced to party hardy, and I got drunk as a dog. And I got drunk on wine. It seemed a very nice wine. I'd never drank wine before. That's what they had. That's what they had in the house, so that's what I got drunk on. That's what everybody got drunk on. And at some point in the middle of the night, I do remember, I think, noticing that the carpet that my face was pushed up against was a lovely shade of brown. And I may or may not have thrown up in the bathtub. And then that's really all I remember until the next morning when I tried to peel my face off the floor because I had to get back because the next day I was back on duty. And I want you to know that is the worst god-awfulest hangover I've ever had in my life. If you've never drank anything, I do not suggest you get drunk on wine. I also suggest you eat before you drink. Have some kind of base for your drinking. Pop a couple of aspirin, get nice and hydrated with some water, and you might not suffer the way I suffered through 3 of the god-awfulest days of my life. I puked till I thought my guts were going to come up. I had a headache that wouldn't stop. I was miserable, and I swore then, and I have lived up to that, I will never drink wine again. Not at a party, not a glass, not a anything, ever, never, ever. Now, with that being said, of course, if you are a child of the 80s, you know that Bartles and James was a big thing back then. Wine coolers. Everybody had one in their hand. That was the most awesomest thing there ever was. And I couldn't drink one without wanting to puke. I couldn't look at one. I couldn't taste one. And I have stuck to that my entire life. I have never drank another glass of wine ever because of a personal experience that I had. So, there's going to come a time in your life when you're talking to somebody, you're with somebody, and the phrase is going to come out of their mouth, I will never, etc., etc., etc. So, before you laugh that off, because you can tell when somebody's joking and joshing and being sarcastic. I'll never, but when they have that look in their eyes, and you see in them that grit and determination, when they clench their teeth and they clench their fists, and their chin goes down and their eyes flame, and they say, I will never, most likely they mean it. But be careful of that word. It can limit you to experiences in your lifetime. Things like, I will never forgive you. I never want to see you again. I'll never speak to you again. Things like that have a tendency to shape and change you, your outlook, your way of life, and your family, how you are with people. So before you say that in anger, and it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a child and say you tell your parents I'll never forgive you. If you're a parent, tell I'll never let you. I'll never. Make sure that first of all you mean it. Because sooner or later you're going to say it about something, but do not say it lightly because it will change the course of your life. Okay? So, yeah, never. N is for never. And I probably will go to the nether again just so I'm not terrified of it. So there you go, guys. N is for never. Tell me down in the comments, have you got a never in your life? And what it is? And have you stuck by it? When did you make it as a child? How long has this never been with you? If you want to share with me, that would be great. Thank you for stopping by. I will never stop saying that. And it's always a joy and a privilege to have you spend just a little bit of your important time with me. It's most appreciated. Thank you very much. And we will be here next week with the letter O. Guys, can you believe it? We are, my God, we are over halfway done with this season. Already. I cannot believe it. And I have a good one next week. I think you will appreciate it. That's my opinion anyway. This is Mntdewmania Redneck Rants, Season 5. I'm so out of here. Later, guys.